describe your feeling the first time you stepped into the cockpit?
No pilot can ever forget that. My first commercial flight was on my training when I did a flight from Bangalore to Delhi.
Okay.
Yes.
And how was that?
That was scary. Then Boeing was like the market leader at that point. So I always wanted to fly the Boeing. My first aircraft was a Boeing, and it's always been that aircraft all my life right now.
Boeing has always been in the news.
Always.
With this particular aircraft also that crashed recently, checks must have happened.
Absolutely.
As a passenger and a layperson myself, these questions pop up.
Yeah.
Was it not checked correctly? What went wrong? Why 270 people at once? Just in a fraction of a second. Earlier said, if it's not Boeing, I ain't going. But now people have started saying, if it's Boeing, I ain't going.
Captain, there's a lady who's way premature. Like, you know, I mean, she's way too early in her pregnancy to be having labor pains. But it looks like labor pain. And suddenly, in the next couple of minutes, we got a call that we've got a baby on board.
Hello and welcome to Bona-Fide Banter with Zalak Mehta. Today we have with us Captain Smit Machchhar. He's been flying over 17 years over various destinations in 737. And today we're going to dig deep into his professional life, his personal life. He is mentoring an aviation academy. So all about that, his challenges and some real life stories from inside the cockpit. So thank you so much, Smith, for joining us today. It's a pleasure having you here.
Hi, thank you. Good morning, and thanks for having me here.
So, Smith, tell me, what actually inspired you to become a pilot?
First of all, no, unlike a lot of other aviators right now, aviation was not like a childhood dream.
Is it?
It came along much later in my life. So after my schooling, I've actually joined a textile engineering course, which was my family business.
Okay.
And I did that, finished the entire course, and still was young, so I wanted to do a little more studies. And to help grow the family business, the only obvious course to follow it up was a management course. And that's where I came across an aviation seminar.
Okay.
Yeah, during the course, and that's where the aviation bug, in a way,
Wow.
bit me. Yeah. That was when I really found the details about the aviation, and it was quite interesting for me. And not that my business wasn't, but this something really appealed, and this is something which I felt that
Yeah.
I was attracted towards, and that's
So at
how
what age did you find out?
I think this was 19, when I was 19, yeah.
Oh, wow. And what was your parents' reaction? How did your family take it?
Mom was scared. she was, because of course, like the aviation now and aviation like 15, 17 years ago was completely different. You didn't hear a lot of people are becoming pilots. Becoming pilots was, no one had any idea how to do it. So first of all, that was one of the things that, scared my mom. And of course, the flying bit.
Exactly, yeah.
Dad, him being a more calmer person, he took it well. And the only thing he was like, kar lega. So I said, yeah, I'll do it. So he said, just figure it out, how and where you can do it.
Yeah.
And that's how it all started then. But it was smooth at home.
That's really nice. And of course, because right now when someone thinks of aviation or taking up, the course of pilot, it also needs a lot of financial backup.
Yeah.
So at that point of time, what was your father's reaction when it came to that, abhi itna paisa bachana padega for my son's course?
It was definitely a big financial, even with the vast difference of fees, which is currently and
Yeah.
what it was back
What
home.
was
But
it back then?
I remember my fees being close to about 16 lakhs, 17 lakhs.
Entire course?
Yeah.
Really? And
Yeah.
what is it now?
Yeah, upwards of 80 lakhs.
Oh my God. So there's a lot of demand, you mean?
It is, yeah. The world. So aviation, like I said, back then and now, it's completely different. Two different stories.
Can you summarize it? How different is it?
First of all, the airlines, at least speaking about India, at that point I was not very aware about the international market, but the airlines in India were still struggling. They were still in the Great Depression of 2008, 2009 phase. So yeah, the airlines, there were a couple of new airlines which had started up in like 2005, 6. They were still finding their way in the market. You know, the overall mindset of people, to fly, to go to a place rather than just, oh, we'll go by train.
Yeah.
You know, the awareness about actually aviation being very safe was not there. It was always looked upon as in, oh, this is scary, you're flying. Which
Yeah,
in a way it is, but when you find out details about it, now if you ask me and my parents, they would not even think about, if there's a place where they can fly to, they will fly there.
Convenience.
Yeah, convenience, of course.
Right.
The ease of, how we can book the tickets now. You remember how we used to book it then? You had to go see a travel agent.
agent,
And
yeah.
he'll give you that big booklet in your hand with your tickets and all. So yeah, overall, the aviation market was not as big.
Right.
Like I said, the companies were still starting up. The demand was there, but nothing so significant that you would have like thousands of people running to become pilots.
Right.
The amount of deliveries that the airlines are taking right now, or the amount of orders that they have with the major manufacturers, the Airbus and Boeings, it was unheard of in those years.
Nice. So it's picked up in India overall in the past
Yes.
decade, I would say.
Yeah, decade for sure.
Yeah.
From the time when the government started, promoting and pushing all the smaller places, like the smaller towns and the cities,
Correct.
to get the airstrip ready and get that reachable. Now we are flying to places that even at times when my airline launched a new route, I was like, "Ye kidhar hai?" And then you had to look it up on Google and like, oh, it's here. So that's how the government. It was definitely a good change of policies,
Right.
and with more and more demand, and now the companies are bigger than ever.
Yeah, that's true. How was the feeling? Can you describe your feeling the first time you stepped into the cockpit?
Yeah, And I think no pilot can ever forget that.
Of course.
So I did my flying from New Zealand.
Wow.
So yeah, so that was one big change because I'd never left the country before that. That was the first. In fact, I didn't even fly for that many times before I actually went to become a pilot. I probably must have had like a couple of flights before that, like traveling domestic. Exactly what I said, that if there's train,
Yeah,
people
you
would-
wouldn't
yeah.
take a flight. Yeah.
and the major and the vast difference between the fare. The train would cost you at that point what, 400-500 rupees,
Yes.
and the aircraft would, like, the flight would cost you around upwards of like, I don't even remember now, 5,000, 10,000 maybe. So yeah, the first flight, I was told, "Arey, dar lagega, don't look out," and I was like,
Oh, really?
so yeah, and I've always been a guy that if I start thinking about something, then I would research and and again in those days to get something online was to have a phone which would do that for you was
Yeah.
practically not there, to be honest.
correct,
We used to use those old phones which
Yeah.
barely worked.
Right.
So I went with a very clear mindset, but yes, a bit scared. Nervous, nahi, but I was scared a little bit because a lot of inputs were given and all those things. But yeah, crazy flight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which destination was it?
No, it was just a fam flight. Basically,
Okay.
they do a familiarization thing for you.
Right.
So they just, ease you into flying kind of a thing. So those are the smaller aircraft. So you just.
Okay. As a part of your training program, you
Yeah.
mean? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And what about your commercial flight?
Oh, commercial flight.
Yeah.
Wow, it's been a while. I believe my first commercial flight was on my training when I did a flight from Bangalore to Delhi.
Okay.
Yes.
And how was that?
That was scary. Not because of the flying part,
The
but
responsibility.
yes. Now we've been checked. You know, you've made it through now to an airline, but you're still under training, so you're still under probation.
Yeah.
And now since you have that laddu, you don't want to let it go.
Of course.
And you're flying with a senior examiner guys, because that's how they, the trainings are with those senior guys.
Correct.
There were a lot of mistakes made, every time, because the mistakes were because of me being, nervous, and I was trying to be ahead. But at that stage, relaxing would have been the best option. But yeah,
So that is something that you would suggest.
no,
the
100%, 100%, no doubt
aspiring
about it.
pilots, Yeah.
Yeah. Stressing is not going to help, at least in this industry. So yeah, it was interesting. But like I said, those senior examiners, I mean, they've seen it all.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah. And so every time there was some error made, we were stopped. We're like, okay, think about what we've done. And then, it was very nicely handled, I must say.
That's
And
nice.
yeah. So once he eased me into it, I think half an hour into the flights, man, then it was a very good, enjoyable experience. But the first 30 minutes to an hour was scary.
Must have been such a good feeling on
Oh, yeah,
landing and getting out of the plane
Yeah.
successfully, whatever I did. Must be a proud feeling for you. The
Absolutely,
first flight.
absolutely. You get that bragging right, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely it was that first flight, like on an airliner, and like I said, I was not always an aviation guy, but then since the time I got into it, Boeing was what, Airbus was there, but then Boeing was like the market leader at that point. So I always wanted to fly the Boeings. My first aircraft was a Boeing, and it's always been that aircraft all my life right now.
Boeing has always been in the news.
Always. That's how we
does
do
it feel when you actually read about it and you're like, oh my God, I am flying this every day.
See, definitely there is always truth to something. There are, but more often than not, there are times when we read something and we're like, just don't blow it off the proportion. Like there are a lot of times when
Correct.
you read something that the aircraft has diverted, a Boeing 737 or a Max has diverted again, and you as a pilot, I would be like, man, diversion is just a part of flying. So at times media, or not only media for that matter, a lot of now we've got so many influencers and we have so many people now just putting everything up there.
Right,
Everyone wants views and everyone wants likes, and
true.
so they make it sensational. So not saying that there is the things are not happening, but then more often than not it's blown out of proportion.
What's your take on it? I mean, recent air crashes, so many crashes have happened. And I have a set of people who actually believe that, they don't want to fly by, 737. What's your take on it?
There were times when even I was unsure that if I want my parents traveling on the Max.
Really?
Yeah, but that was before we found out what exactly is going on with the aircraft. So I was flying the Max. If you're referring to the crashes.
Yes.
So 2000, not very sure on the years, but I think it was 18 or 19 was when I got rated. So every time there's a new change or a new aircraft, you have to get yourself rated on the aircraft.
Right.
So my airline was the first one to bring the Max to India. or maybe not the first one to order, but first one to get the Max here. And since I was there in the airline from a long time, I got to get trained on that aircraft pretty much on the first batch.
Wow.
So we started flying the Max at a very beginning stage.
Okay.
Fancy a new aircraft after
Yeah.
8 years of flying the old NGs, not old NGs, but now with the Max coming in,
Exactly,
the
yeah.
NGs obviously became old
Must be
aircraft.
exciting.
Oh, super exciting. New aircraft, powerful aircraft, good changes here and there, So it was fun and exciting. And then suddenly you wake up one day and you're like,
Exactly.
a Max crashed. Okay. Heartbreaking.
Of course.
Now we talk very casually about it, but yeah, any crash, you being a pilot, you're not a pilot, it's loss of life is.
Exactly.
So, there are different theories that immediately start coming out. Oh, this must have happened, that must have happened. Eventually, I think a couple of months, or maybe 3-4 months later, we found out that, they had some issues with the aircraft sensors and stuff like that. Okay. We continued with our lives. And whenever things like this happens, the Boeing guys would know that, the manufacturer, Boeing, would come out with bulletins. That, we've found out, we've done our research, and we think that this is the issue, and this is how you can mitigate it. Whenever you see this thing, you can do this, you can do that.
Correct.
So we got those the changes, and we got ourselves retrained, and we got on with our lives. Again, few months later,
Exactly.
the second one,
Yeah.
and now, even after the first information, the second one happened, and that's when the panic started. And so when I said I wouldn't want my wife or my parents to fly on that aircraft, while me flying that one, so it was, again, I would say we were not scared, but it was like we were not sure what's going on. Like, what's happening? What is the real reason about it? At that point, we started getting some inputs.
Yeah.
We started getting some, you always hear things.
How would you mitigate those risks? Because see, of course, the recent air crash that happened,
Yeah.
it was devastating for everybody.
Everybody, yeah, absolutely.
And you yourself flying on an aircraft like that, stepping into the cockpit after that incident, how has it been for you? Have you had a sense of huge responsibility, especially after that incident?
So, see, DGCA and the airline, after the second crash, was extremely quick to ground the aircrafts.
Okay.
As the other operators and the other regulators around the world did. But we should credit DGCA and the airline as well, because that was a big loss of revenue. But that does not mean that you fly in an environment or in an aircraft which you're not sure about what's going on.
Exactly, yeah.
So the aircraft, the airline was quick, DGCA was quicker, and but yet we had, when you're flying a Max or an airline, in an airline rather, the planes are everywhere. Some might be in Delhi, some might be in Ahmedabad, some might be in Bombay, or
Of course, yeah.
And Mumbai being one of the busier places,
Yeah.
like Delhi as well, and Bangalore and all those places, we had to reposition the aircraft to a place where we will have to wait to find out what's the next step.
Correct.
So till then the aircrafts are grounded. So now you have to, you can't keep that aircraft in Mumbai forever, because that's gonna blow, and it's not operationally feasible. So you don't fly passengers in it now, but you still have to place it somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that was one of the flights where, like you said, it was a big responsibility. And so we were told that this is what the initial understanding of the issue is. We were given a good, thorough brief that, there was some combinations of configuration and some combinations which triggered that. So we were obviously told to avoid those kind of configuration, and so it was just a positioning flight from Mumbai to Ahmedabad for me, and similarly for other guys. So that one flight, I left home saying that I'm not flying a Max. So
Imagine, yeah. So
Yeah,
it is scary,
yeah.
of course.
So
because
yeah,
you enter that, it's like
because
your
after the
workplace.
after the second one, I stopped saying that I'm flying max.
Correct.
So that was one of the flight where I said, I remember it was my dad, I think, when I was leaving the house, and like, are you flying the max today? I was like, no. It's an NG.
Oh my God, I can't imagine how your parents or your entire family, including your wife, how they must have felt. Probably did they try to stop you, saying that, okay, beta, you're done now. After this, you're not flying the max
No.
at
So
any point.
it was not. Obviously, the concern was there. The concern was
Yeah,
there,
of course.
but they were more curious to find out what's happening,
Of course,
what
yeah.
went wrong, and
Yeah.
will it happen here, or all those things. And they had a lot
What
of
is your take on it?
on the crash.
Yes.
Yeah, there was an error which triggered both the crashes. So there were, like I said, there were some changes that were made to the aircraft. The engines were bigger in size. As a result, aerodynamically, to make the aircraft stable, in an aircraft, if I talk in a detailed manner, the aircraft has to be stable longitudinally, laterally, and vertically. There are axis. So because of few changes and the engines being bigger, they were mounted a little further ahead of the wings than the previous generation, the NGs basically, which made a little changes to the aerodynamics of the aircraft. And to cater for those things, there was this system called MCAS, which was installed in the aircraft just to avoid the rapid nose up momentum which the engines which were mounted further, which incurred that. So, but the sensor which should have sensed that correctly. Now, the detailed thing, even the engineers would be able to tell you, but then as a pilot, the sensor malfunction, and the aircraft, even while flying on a normal pitch, assume that they are at extremely high pitch, and it triggered a wild nose down, and that's how both the crashes was just which was then later figured out and corrected, and we've been flying max since the time it came back to service, basically in 2023 or something, 22.
I'm sure there are checks that happen, right?
Yeah.
Technical checks, regulatory checks before flying.
Yes.
What is it that, so of course, with this particular aircraft also that crashed recently, checks must have happened.
Absolutely.
As a passenger and a layperson myself, these questions pop up.
Yeah.
Was it not checked correctly? What went wrong? Why 270 people at once, just in a fraction of a second, all gone?
I'll tell you something. You drive a car.
Yeah.
How many times have you checked your coolant or the engine oil? Have you? In the last...
I don't remember. Yeah.
Correct. But we, flying in an aircraft, not every day. It's after every flight that this checks, I'm saying, as a pilot and the engineers. This is the external and the internal and the, visual checks and all those things. Apart from these checks, which is done before and after every single flight, doesn't matter if the flight is 10 minutes long. If you've flown, we go through the entire procedure. We've got, as a pilots, we've got our own checks. The engineer, he's got his own walk around. So we basically go around the aircraft looking at the most critical parts. And Boeing has listed the entire things that, you start your walk around from here, look at this part, see if it's in this condition. If it's good, move on to the next one. So, this is done after every flight. Apart from this, the aircraft has certain C checks and a lot of other checks, which it is scheduled and has to be done to maintain the airworthiness of the aircraft. So we have something called as the airworthiness certificate. So if you don't do that, and that certificate clearly has a date of expiry.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and it's an airline's responsibility to get the aircraft checked. And in a way, on the C checks, they literally strip the aircraft of everything, of all the avionics and everything, and they build it back up. So it's a detailed. So I know what you were referring to when the Air India thing came, and everyone was like, "Oh, the maintenance didn't do this, and the maintenance didn't."
Okay, so Smith, I know a lot of people now that after the recent air crash, they've been like, I'm not flying the Boeing. And I also recollect a phrase that earlier said, if it's not Boeing, I ain't going. But now people have started saying, if it's Boeing, I ain't going.
Yeah. I saw that. I was like, what? No. So yes, Air India, like you were saying, one of the safest aircrafts. 787s. Dreamliner for a. It's not known Dreamliner for
Yeah.
anything else. But again, like going back to the engineering part, everything should have been done. Again, it is an ongoing investigation.
Right.
So, it is so funny. I'll tell you, there were people or my relatives or friends or maybe who've not spoken to me for like years.
Yeah.
And suddenly I start getting called that, "Arey, kaisa hai?" And after the few small talks, you're like, "Bro, what happened with Air India?" So everyone wants gossip. Imagine. These are not even influencers or what not. I don't even know the names of the new thingies now. But everyone wants a bit. It's like, what? Why? And over the years, now the aviation is so hard into my life that, when people start to misinterpret something or start talking bad about it, like, not bad, but in a way, but I'm not able to find the word for it. But whatever, it pisses me off. So I was like, no, first of all, it's not your place to know.
Correct.
Just, and coming from a pilot, be it a senior pilot or even a CPL holder, people just wants to go out and say that, "Arey, meko pilot ne bola, the engineering, they messed up. The pilots did this and the pilot should have done that." Like, bro, come on. It is so easy to guess.
And frame opinions by yourself.
Now, imagine, see, personally, I didn't know the pilots, not the crew or anyone else. But I know of his credentials, both of them. Now, again, like I said, I don't know them personally. I've got friends who've flown with them, both of them,
Okay.
the captain and the first officer. The experience that they had, and this, I in fact spoke recently on a flight with my first officer who wanted to know what happened with, an airline with in my country and all. And I told them that, it is so unfortunate. Those people over the years, they built a certain reputation.
Exactly.
The captain, if I'm not wrong, was a trainer at that point or used to be a trainer. I'm not very sure about that. And now you start blaming the pilots. It's
So
not
sad.
fair.
Yeah.
It is not fair. Those guys, do you think they wouldn't have fought for their life? No, it is. So just to start talking about, a pilot should have done this, and how dare you? Let the real investigation come out, and if they are at fault, blame them. I mean,
Correct. Yeah.
in a very rude way, but then find out first what went wrong.
Absolutely.
Was it the aircraft? Was it the engineering? Was it was it pilots? Or was it like sheer bad luck? I mean, it's not luck when it comes to aviation. Nothing is luck. Basically, there are procedures. You do it, you don't do it, you see the repercussions. But let it come out.
Right.
And in today's world, nothing is hidden. Once the report comes out, do you think once the report comes out, you're not going to find it? All these so-called influencers and so-called ghar ke reporters would start posting everything online again.
Correct.
So my response to them was, I don't know. And they'll be like, "Arey, how do you say that?" I'm like, I don't know. Because I don't want to engage in this conversation where you later on go and then blame my community. Like, no, sorry, not happening.
Very well said.
So yeah, that was, as far as Air India goes, to be honest, even for this interview, I would say no idea. Let us wait, find out, and there are authorities we are at which is doing their job as we speak.
Of
And I'm
course.
sure they will come out with a clear, transparent investigation,
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
cause.
Hmm.
And when the investigation it actually comes out, it has everything in detail. So let us wait for it. And then, but that does not mean, again, sorry to get completely off track, that does not mean you stop flying Air India. My last flight was on Air India when I was flying back home. So I do not agree on this thing. So they will never fly Air India, is it now? So suddenly an airline which is legendary in our country becomes unsafe just after one crash. So yeah, it is.
I don't believe it's just after one crash. There has been news that, the airlines technicals have been at fault. There have been pilots who have pointed that out,
Okay.
even before the crash and after the crash.
Okay.
So after the crash happened, once the pilot pointed out some technical faults and informed the authorities, the flight was stood cancelled.
Okay.
But before the crash, there were it was in the news that even due to the minor glitches, the airline was made to fly.
Okay.
This is something that I have read, and I would like
Again.
to know from you.
Yeah. So yeah, not sure about what did you read, like what minor technical faults and anything. Now I'll go back to the scans or the walk around that I spoke about, the one that we do after every flight. So this is part true, whatever you said. Even when I've not read whatever you've read, but I can understand where this report is coming from. So like I said, after every walk around, not always you'll find the aircraft in like perfectly 100% condition. As far as Boeing is concerned, we have this Boeing approved document.
Okay.
Let me put it in a very correct phrase. It's called a minimum equipment list.
Okay.
So Boeing has its own minimum equipment list, which has every single thing on the aircraft, which basically what it means is that if you don't have this minimum equipment, maybe there are, let's talk about the nuts, just randomly. Yeah, let's say there are 10 nuts which are there at a certain place of an aircraft. On the walk around, I find, one of them is not there. Yeah, correct. What do I do now? As a pilot and then as an engineer, we both have our procedures, and we eventually go back to the same book, which is the minimum equipment list. We go back and we see, we don't have this nut. Does Boeing allow us any kind of leeway in operating this flight? So it says, okay, yeah. In this example, let's assume that you needed 8. You can still fly safely with all safety with 8, but you still have 9. But that does not mean you just go for the flight. It has its own limitation. So then you get into this an alternate mode of operating the aircraft, not completely alternate, but so now there are some certain penalties. If it's on the aircraft surface, which causes any changes to the flow of the aircraft or causes the extra drag, comes on with the penalty, with the fuel penalty, with the range penalty, or maybe altitude penalty or the speed penalty. So they've done this test. So when you talk about minor fault tha lekin aircraft chale gaya, it will go.
Okay.
So
It was so important to address this.
It is. So-
Because people need to know that every time the aircraft cannot be as perfect and it can still fly
Yes.
safely.
Safely is the word.
Exactly.
So even, I'm not saying ek engine nahi hai and you can go.
Obviously,
That is a
that's
major
a big thing. Yeah.
There are some things which looks very small, but if it's not there, sorry, you are grounded. There are certain things in an aircraft cockpit. If it's not there, and if the Boeing books doesn't have any say on that, man, you're grounded. It can be something as small as a switch, or maybe as small as a display or something like that. So there are so many levels of safety when it comes to aviation. So, like I said, the report that you read, I'm sure there must be some truth to it. But you see how they twisted just to make it sensational. This is what is happening right now.
Yeah. Because especially after the crash, all of this has started coming out, you know. I don't remember the exact, like the technicalities of it, but I per se remember reading about this. Now, speaking of this, you know, of course, due to technical faults or whatever, there is a delay.
Yeah.
All right, with the aircraft. Now, there are passengers waiting, you know, to reach their destination. Can be for holiday, can be for some emergency situation. How do you cope up with that? Has it ever happened that, you know, the passengers have probably come to you, you know, to the pilots in the flight, and they've like blamed that, what is this? You know, we have to wait
So
for
many
so
times.
long. Really?
Can't even count right now.
How do you cope up with that?
I was when it first happened with me, first time, I think I had about total flying experience about 1,000 hours. Like I was still a first officer.
Okay.
I was flying with this young captain, but man, what authority he had. And this is what I was lucky to, you know, in the aviation terms, to grow up with people which helped me be a pilot that I am today. So, young guy, and people are just like uncontrollable. You know, 4 girls back there, and you know, for them to overpower those four women is so easy. Like not overpower physically, I mean, but like, you know, just to taunt them and you know, just keep, you know, poking them like, what's going on? When are we going? When are we going? And I had never seen what he did.
Yeah.
We were still on the ground. Major delays. And so he told me, Smith, 2 options hai. Keep the aircraft door shut. I mean, the cockpit door shut. Keep sipping your coffee. And then when we have something to tell them, we tell them.
Okay.
So me being a nice first officer, I said, okay, captain. बोलता है, but दूसरा option तो सुना नहीं. I said, what? Like, we open the cockpit door, you and I go to the center of the cabin and start speaking to people. I was like, what? So yeah, क्या होगा?
Really?
He's like, see, they're not going to touch you. We are in uniform. He said, this may work, this may not work. If it doesn't work, अपन आके बैठ जाएंगे cockpit में. I said, okay. So, opened the door and everyone was still seated. Some of them were standing, this and that. And like, come. So both, we walk, I think, 4-5 rows in. And he was like, batao, sir. You know, there was, and, oh, sorry, I've missed out this. He's first checked with the crew which guy or which woman is making the most noise. He's like, sir, this passenger on the 5th row is like, okay. He goes and like, sir, batao, sir. How can I make your day better? Not in a sarcastic way, but then he was like, but then you guys don't understand this and that. He's like, sir, aapka ye first flight hai. We all are up from 4 in the morning. Do you think we don't want to go home? And if you are stuck, we are stuck as well.
Right.
Or it's the other way around, whatever. And he starts talking to people. And then the first few minutes, I was like, this is not working. I think we are going back to the cockpit. And then suddenly, you know, you only need to change one person. And then suddenly this one woman stands up and she's like, wo log bhi to ruke hai. They are not running away anywhere. And then the mood started changing. And within 10-15 minutes, everyone was seated. They were eating their food or they were doing something. And quiet. The entire cabin, quiet as in, there was no shouting, no noise. And the most funny thing was, we go back to our cockpit and now passengers are sending food in the cockpit. Like, you know, obviously we can't have that.
Yeah.
But now it's you know, you see how it went to the completely opposite side. So
it's how you tackle the situation.
I said, Captain, कैसे किया? Like, मेरे को भी बोला था that this might work. And I was like, you've never done it? It's like, no. So yeah, so it was a funny but yet a very effective way of handling that. there were days then it happened when I was a captain. I tried doing that. Most of the time it worked. Sometimes it didn't work. But as a pilot, there's only limited things. But yes, what I have felt is a lot of times when you keep the passengers told. So my style of handling that situation is I keep talking to them. Over the years, I mean, going into the cabin and talking to them, I don't know. But so what I do is I keep talking to them over the announcements, the PAs. Just keep them engaged.
Right.
Even if you tell them that, oh, there's going to be another half an hour delay, I don't know why. The crew are equally qualified, but when it comes from the cockpit, it makes a difference. So okay,
Why is that? Now that you've mentioned,
yeah,
crew, of course, has their kind of experience. They are also trained enough.
oh,
Of
you don't know that training. It is
Can you please describe, and because there's always going to be a difference between the qualification of a pilot and
Yeah.
the crew, but when it, like you said, when it comes from the cockpit, it makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
While the crew is doing the same thing, it doesn't make a huge difference.
maybe it's the place of authority. I think. Because eventually, yes, the cockpit is what is taking you from here and there, but that does not take away anything from the crew. Those people, those girls and now boys and everyone, they go through some rigorous training, to, like you said, qualification difference, but they have to get trained for the, safety procedures and emergency
Exactly.
procedures and, first aids. When we are up there and if something happens, who's going to save you? You'll be lucky enough to have a doctor on board, but then if not, then they are trained. I'm not saying they are trained to do, surgeries and stuff, but then they can save your life, So it is unfortunate how the entire outlook of people is there
Yes.
towards the crew. But when things are going wrong, you need them.
Ever been a situation where you had to land as an emergency landing happened with your aircraft?
Touch wood, no emergency landings, but then there were cases where I had medical emergencies.
Okay.
Here, minor faults with the aircraft, which again, in the interest of safety, we could have always continued, but in the interest of safety, the best thing to do is put her on the ground, figure it out. Delays, not my problem. As long as you're walking out of the aircraft is what I want. So,
Right.
so medical emergency, yes, I've had quite a few medical emergencies.
Like, and how have you tackled it?
Some of them were like time critical. The others were that, Captain, things can go wrong.
Okay.
I had a person who had shortness of breath,
Okay.
who was later given oxygen and everything, but we made it. So he was there on the ground, but when I saw them taking him away, he was not in a very good state.
Oh.
Yeah, so, but he was still alive. So see, as a pilot, what we can do is we can just get them a professional help
Correct.
as soon as possible.
Yes.
And there was a case where we had a berth on board.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that was something which was time critical. So that
How did you manage that? And I have so many questions about this. Like, if a baby is born on the flight, how does one decide the citizenship?
I think it's more of an honorary thing rather than a rule, is what I feel. Not very clear if it's a rule, but I don't think all the countries give you that.
Okay.
I'm sure you've heard about people flying over Europe or US or maybe
Yes.
Australia or something, that you get and I think up to a certain point it is true. You do get a citizenship, but not all countries.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what happened about the baby that took birth on your flight?
So we had just taken off and morning flight, and just started to have my breakfast, and the first officer was at controls and he was flying, and suddenly we get a call. and he's talking to the crew. He's like, okay, hold on, let me get the captain. And he was like, Captain, you might want to hear this. I said, what happened? I spoke to her. They're like, Captain, there's a lady who is way premature. Like, I mean, she's way too early in her pregnancy to be having labor pains, but it looks like labor pain. Like she's out. And she was a female, so she knows, and she was a mom as well, so she knew what a labor pain looks like or feels like. Or she's like, it is a labor pain. So I was like, okay. So we immediately, the first instinct was, secure the front galley. Just take away everything from the cockpit, because we might not have time later to clear the cockpit. And so quickly did that. And then I think within 7-10 minutes, she was like, Captain, this is now advancing towards the delivery.
Oh my God.
Because they were not very sure about if it's a backache or this or that. But now it looked as if, yes, it is. That's when, but we, even when they cleared the cockpit, we both started acting as if it is an active diversion. So we checked out the nearest airfields. We got the weather for all the airfields. We saw what is operationally feasible. And we had made plans for the further, into the route. If this thing stabilizes now, but if it starts again, so we made plans for that. And we had like 6-7 minutes. If you watch like this, and 6-7 minutes it's a long time. So the nearest airfield, we prepared everything. We kind of briefed ourselves for the approach and how we're gonna do it and what are the limitations, because there are a lot of operational limitations when it comes to flying. There are weight limitations. You can't land about a certain weight and this and that. But in emergencies, we can avoid those.
Okay.
But then that takes us to a completely different part. But anyways, and suddenly in the next couple of minutes, we got a call that we've got a baby on board.
Wow.
Yeah, and then we got into action mode. So, and that was, I would say, a very good coordination between all of us, like the crew and the cockpit, with me and the first officer both. We were ready for it. It was done.
Was there a doctor on board, or
No.
is the crew trained for deliveries as well?
See, like I said, they're not trained for a surgery, but then they are trained to, not very sure on the specifics, but I'm sure they're trained on, finding out the vitals, and there are a few things that the first aids, bruises and cuts and bleeds and all those things. So they are trained for those things, and they did a fabulous job. There were crew who were with the female, and
the mother and the baby both were absolutely okay.
They were both fine. And after landing, we had paramedics who was ready. So we had coordinated that when we started diverting. So we had already told them about getting all the possible help, the nearest parking stand, so that we don't waste a lot of time after landing, which everything basically happened. And the mom and baby both survived, which was a big
Very nice.
relief.
Yeah.
And then the passenger thing happened. Like I said, one of those days where the delays are there, because now the aircraft, since it landed way above the certified limit, there are certain checks that has to be done. So
Right.
there was legally there was nothing that we could have done, and then they were sent on the other aircraft, and then they were on the way. But then again, with a considerable delay. Because an airline will not have an aircraft vacant for you at random places.
Yes, of course, of course.
So there were delays, but then eventually,
But the fact that everything was taken care of
Yeah.
so
was
smoothly
nice to
and
see that.
successfully
Yeah.
must be a very proud
it is.
moment.
I mean, like you said, now thinking back to it, I don't think so. We were stressed, but yes, there was this sense of urgency that sometimes when you're rushing through things and you miss out on some important things, and then something happens.
Right.
The first instinct when I spoke to, we'll come to that institute thing that we are mentoring right now.
Yes.
So I try and, share my experiences with the kids and everything. And when I spoke to them, they were like, "Sir, you must have come full speed, no?" I said, "This is where the experience is."
Right, of
it is understood when I'm telling them that, it was time critical and this and that, and they're like, "Oh, time critical, so fast." But then this is where, if we wouldn't have briefed ourselves that, okay, I want myself and the aircraft at this point, at this speed, with this configuration. Because if you miss that, and now you have to do the approach again, and now you're landing, an approach can take anywhere between 15-20 minutes.
Correct.
Now you deal it by 15-20 minutes, and God forbid if something happens to the kid.
Yeah.
Again, it's not on me. But, that guilt stays with you forever.
Of course, of course.
So it was methodical, it was quick.
Yeah.
It was as quick as it should have been. Let's put it that way. We started off
Yeah.
a quick, fast descent, but then we did things which would not put us in the other zone.
Correct, correct.
So
So it must have been a very satisfying
oh
feeling.
yeah, completely,
of course.
completely.
Also, this makes me think of a question. Is there any particular restriction for a pregnant lady
Yes.
to fly on the plane?
Yes.
What is it?
There are number of weeks. So
Okay.
So there's minor changes here and there. Let's put it in weeks. So there are certain amount of weeks wherein you can fly even if you're pregnant with no doctor's approval or anything like that. So basically your initial stage of pregnancy.
Right.
After a certain weeks is when you'd need a doctor's fit to fly.
Is it? Okay. So you need a document from the doctor.
Yeah. So you need to
Okay.
go first see a doctor.
Uh-huh.
And also, again, this is very important. If people don't know about it, is declare it. They're not going to stop you from flying.
Right.
Just declare it that I am this many weeks, get a doctor's certificate. And you can even call the airline.
Like for safety reasons.
Of course, there are safety reasons. And it's not about the airline doesn't want to get this risk of, oh no, we don't want to divert. It's not about that. It's about you losing your life or the precious
Absolutely,
one.
yeah.
So, yeah. And then there is a certain amount of weeks after which you're not allowed to fly.
What is that?
About 32 weeks, if I'm not wrong.
Okay. Understood.
So after that, I don't think so. The airlines would let you fly because then it's very late in your pregnancy, and then things like this can happen.
Correct, correct.
So
Can you name one of the most challenging flight and how you coped up with it? How did you land successfully after the
this
challenge?
was one of them, to be
Okay.
honest. This was because the margin of error was not there. Like it was there, but I didn't want to, in the name of safety, but just slow down and then take my own sweet time. So I had to rush things, and in my head I had zero margin for error. So I keep that thing for myself. So I was like, galti to nahi karna. So we were referring to things, and we were handing over controls, and we were like, okay, let me see this, and they were like, okay, give me back, and so it was a very well thought of approach, and we both were very proud of it.
Of
that
course.
to make it there, safely followed all the airline procedures, followed all the Boeing procedures. So this was one of them. There were few flights when I was flying in India. Indian weather. You saw how the rains were.
Yeah.
And so there were a couple of approaches which were very, very challenging. Like,
Like?
it was not that we were worried about, will we land or will we go divert? It was more like, I don't want the aircraft to give up on me. So it was like that. So there were times when, we can see the weather.
Huh.
Like from far, far away. We can see the weather.
Okay.
We do take our own courses if we have to avoid the weather. But then at times, there's no way out. And then you have to find the lesser of the evil, if we want to put it that way. So you see which part is not as bad, and then you fly through that part and then try and get out of it. So yeah, a couple of times,
It was due to rains.
this was thunderstorms.
Okay.
And this was one of it was when we were in cruise, where, in India, the pre-monsoons, at times they get so wild that something that you would see like 80, 90, 100 miles away, and you'll be like, this is below me. So there are few things which is, coming back to that flight, there were certain areas which were way above me, the thunderstorm. The other was like, okay, probably on my level. The others seemed like, these are a little low. Let's go from this part. And the next thing you know, 10 minutes and you're going there. And in 10 minutes, they are like, from being like this to being like that. So they're very wild. And that's what happened.
Yeah.
And so we turned back in fact, we almost turned back, almost like a 180 turn. But then we had to go somewhere. And this turn was where we got into a really bad situation. Like not in a aircraft unstabilized manner, but I'm saying there was at one point very, very few places where we could just punch through the weather. And, turbulence,
Of course.
severe turbulence. And then, so yeah, at that point, I think most of us pilots, we have this switch on, switch off mode. So we are relaxed, but then when we don't talk, that doesn't mean we are scared. So it's the switch on mode.
Correct.
And now no nonsense, like, just not that the other time we mess around, but the thing is that when it is on, when you're on in the zone, then
I want to know what you all do inside the cockpit. How has it been? Long flights? What is it like in there?
It is not as glamorous or as
It's not?
See, our primary duty is to monitor. So like how we're talking right now, you will be surprised that this guy sitting next to me over there, most of the time we're not looking at each other when we're talking.
Really? Then what
Because-
goes on? What do you do?
So we talk. So we've got our own headsets and we talk and stuff. But we have to monitor.
So like constantly like
So now over the years, yes, a glance is good enough at every few seconds and everything. But still, it's not that we can turn around and start chatting with each other. We chat, we talk. Also, a lot of times what happens is, this over the years I've realized, and most of them would agree with it, is we try and not get into like deep discussion. Because what happens is when you're getting into a deep discussion, now you're focusing and then, you're not doing your
you are
job.
distracted.
Yeah. So at times when I see things happening, and like we're getting into a deep discussion, not particularly like political or anything like that, but I'm just saying any random topic. We pilots have a lot of things to talk about. So
I'm sure.
so when this happens, in a polite way, I either pull out something just to break the conversation, start looking at something else, or start seeing what, basically just to cut it off and then start fresh. So it is something that I learned over the years. And
Are you all allowed to sleep?
yes,
Really?
yeah.
And is there any time limit?
So yeah, again, it is operator specific, it is company specific, and basically it is, let's not call it sleep, but it's controlled rest.
Okay.
So we try and not get into deep sleep. So we are resting, which helps the brain and the body recover. And you can, there's set norms for if a flight is longer than, like, let's say we're flying from Bombay to Rajkot or Bombay to Ahmedabad,
Yeah.
then legally I don't think so you're allowed to take a controlled rest. But then it has a lot of specific information that if your flight or your duty is going to be this long, so you can have a rest of about 20 minutes or 40 minutes or something like that,
Okay.
where the other pilot and a crew, depending upon, again, the company policy, would be in the cockpit, so that
Okay.
at any point, there's no risk to any one of the life.
Yeah,
like
yeah, of course.
even my or the first officer or anyone. So basically, there is a rest, which is again only enhancing the safety and not the other way
Yeah,
around.
you wouldn't call it sleep, you will call it like a nap.
This is asked so many times.
Yeah.
"Aap sote ho kya?" I said. And when I see people, they just want this sensational information. I said, yeah, I sleep. So, I am like that. But don't get me wrong. But yeah, there is definitely yeah, we need rest. We pilots need rest. Again, to at times I would say things which would sound very casual or too easy and all those things, like we did this landing, but no, when the high workload environment starts, like takeoffs and landings or weather and all those things, we need to be at our 100%.
Absolutely.
I mean, no one can be at 100%, but we would want to be at that 100% mark,
Of course.
where we are not missing out on key details or safety features or the safety procedures and stuff like that. So, flying during the night, during the circadian low, where your body wants to shut down, but you have to fly, or maybe you're doing an approach and you're landing and it's raining. So, to be ready and to be operationally, there to make sure that even at that critical time, when you're flying, let's say 80, 90, 100 hours a month and you're tired and but you still have to perform. There's no alternate to that. I have to land.
Right.
So that's one of the things that helps us do our job better. So the rest at times, yes.
Of course.
My thing would be I would try and get as much rest before the flight. But yes, there are times where you're given the rest which is laid down as per the procedures. But then you have a certain personal life that you have to take care of. And
Exactly.
so at times when that doesn't happen, this allowance of getting rest on board is something that is really helpful for a pilot.
Yeah. We spoke about your professional life now, that you mentioned about your lifestyle. How is it that you manage yourself when you have late night flights, early morning flights? Do you get time for yourself or your family? Because you have a family waiting out there for you. How do you manage it?
See, over the years, it has changed a lot. So when I started flying, we spoke about the first flight. The only thing I wanted to do then was fly. I didn't want to sleep. I didn't want to go anywhere. Just and they loved me for it. Like, Captain, this flight, I'll do it. So, and that's a good thing when you're starting off. And this is what I would, and I always suggest to my kids as well that, at first don't have preferences. No, I want to fly from here. Like, no. Fly.
Correct.
For a pilot to gain that experience and to refine your skills is what a pilot is. Not to post something online,
So true.
selfie.
Yeah.
This has changed so much. When I was a first officer and I would have even thought about taking my phone out in the flight deck, it was a completely different scene then. Now, after landing, you would sometimes see the guys. But yeah, if that helps him to just relax, cut off. But then don't let it get, don't let it hamper your procedures.
Correct.
So at first, when I started flying, like I said, it was only flying. Then I got married. Then again, but the thing was that mindset was not changing. It's just flying. But then later on, you realize that there's someone else who needs your time as well.
Yeah.
Which came with its own experiences and stuff like that. But then now I would say I try, when I get out of the cockpit or the aircraft, I don't want the other guy to know that I'm a pilot. I don't want to discuss aviation. I would be 100% there, even more than 100% there mentally right now. When I wear the uniform, then it's gone. Then no nonsense. And just do your job, finish the job. And when you walk out of the cockpit, that's it. Stop thinking about that. Now, someone else needs. Now the kids are there. They want to play with you.
Of course.
So realizing now, if I just want to summarize, if I would have realized this earlier, I would have done it. So if people are there right now also, and then they're starting off, give the personal life equal importance as this your professional life. It helps you then fly for longer. You would be still excited to go for the flight. If you tired yourself out way too early in your career, It's not that you lose the passion, but then it's the body, your mind is there. The body might start
give up.
saying that, oh, let's get a little less flights this month, or let's not fly this route, so let's not fly that route. So then the preference starts coming in, and then, but a healthy
Work-life balance.
work-life balance, I think, you always hear about this work-life balance and this and that, and now I understood it a little later in my career, but when I did, it's very peaceful after that.
That's nice.
So when you're working, just work. But then when you're at home,
You are at home.
yeah, so I do get calls here and there saying that, oh, Captain, but I was on this flight, aisa ho gaya, there are young pilots who are growing up, and then, back in my previous company, we were trainers, and, so they want to just check with you if the procedure should be this or that. And it's good. I always used to do that as well. So yeah, one-off odd calls here and there. Yeah. But then it's not that at home now I am stuck to, let's say, a TV, running Air India ka news and all those things.
Correct.
For me, I avoid all those things.
You are mentoring one of the academies called
Yes.
Flydubai Aviation. How is it different from the other academies, and what do you actually train the aspiring pilots for?
See, this came after I started, like we discussed about, this is a perfect timing for this work-life balance, right?
Yeah.
So I was getting too much into the aviation world. Like I just wanted to just fly, just be there. Then I became captain. Then I started understanding that, I need to cut loose, just take a step back and, relax a bit. And now and this came after being a captain, because now there's definitely more responsibility on you. So if I take too much on my head and I'm not able to perform those jobs that my company expects me to do, it's not good. And that's when Flyby came across. And we, you have this group of friends where you do some things together and then you're stuck for life.
Right.
So I've got 3 of my boys together with me. So we are 4 of us. And we've been together since 2007 or something. Yeah.
Wow.
So
Really nice.
we did our flying together. We did our type rating together. So we've been together ever since. And all of us became captain at that point. And we were like, kuch karte hain. So we wanted to do a business. Not particularly in aviation, but we just wanted to do a business. And then someone brought Flyby to us. That, you're planning to open something. But why don't you now, instead of talking about making more money and this and that, why don't you just give it back to the society? And I was like, at first we were like, but who are we to do that? I'm not qualified. I mean, I'm qualified, but then I don't know. Somehow I was like, am I good with this? Am I good with the new pilots? Will I be? So all 4 of us, in fact, we were together at one of the party, and then we discussed that let's give it a shot, because they wanted either all or none. So it's
Okay.
like, because they knew the bond that we had, and they were like, you will guide this company now. It's basically you are the mentor, you are the guidance. They had their own staff and everything. Like, you will take us wherever you want to take them. I said, okay. So then we started off visiting them and then seeing how they run the show. And then me and another captain, the friend of mine, we got into the mentoring part. The other 2 guys, they got into grooming them, and basically we took our own likings and everything.
Of course, yeah.
And that's when I really got into it. So I really liked, so every time I would be on a flight and they would message me that, Captain, can you just come? We have got kids. And I was there. So then I always, so for me, that was something that gave me a different satisfaction. So to help out the new kids and, to see that, the excitement that I had when I was becoming a pilot, to share my stories. And so later on, yes, we got into good talmel, let's say like that, that we got together, the management and us, and then we spoke about how we can make this a completely transparent and seamless operations. So they,
Okay.
like how you are asking, they were checking with us that what were the difficulties that you faced when you were becoming a pilot. You know, this is one of the most most
Correct.
asked question, to be honest.
Right.
And we had a horrible time. Like we didn't have Google. I mean, we did have Google, but there was no information about pilots. Like I said, there were hardly any people becoming pilots.
Right.
So we had to literally go to Delhi and then visit DGCA and then find our way out and all those things. So yeah, so we got into this work mode where we made this entire procedure that, let's say you walk in after your 12th without any information how to become a pilot. So we knew that, and they were willing to. Sometimes when you're doing a business, you don't want to give out everything. This is the business part of the things. But what we agreed, what we got them convinced was that, if you just put everything out and give information, you might lose out on some business, but then, you will do good to people. And which is what their thought process was. And this is what I've always believed. You might not give back to community like financially or with money, but your services, yeah, why not?
Absolutely.
So we got into this entire procedure. We made this entire procedure, which was circulated with no restriction. You come, you take this, you go. You don't want to join Flyby, don't join Fly. So they started off on a very good ethical note, which is still there, which is very nice to see. And then I got into like very active roles, and then I wanted to just be there. So like I said, so we got into just from guidance. Then we started ground classes. So
Okay.
we started, because again, when you're helping out people, the parents would be like, "Sir, itna kar diya, to abhi ground classes bhi kara do."
Right.
So at first they wanted us to take the ground classes. I was like, no. I mean, legally also not allowed, but otherwise also it's unfair because I was not up to date on the CPL curriculum and all those things. I was like, that would be unfair.
Right.
So then we found some people, they joined us full time, and then they started teaching. So we went from one office to two to three to four. So they had a
Been
very good
expanding.
trajectory. Yeah. They had
Lovely.
a very good trajectory. And then the next step came, like, sir, padha bhi de rahe ho, to flying bhi bhej do. So, and then we knew that would come at some point. So now Flyby takes care of everything.
Wow.
So now I am officially, I'm there, I'm telling them, and I'm happy how they've kept the ethics in place. It's nice to see in this world, it's so now everything, I think you just have to walk in there.
Yeah. You mentioned about, students come to you post 12th. But what is the stream that they need to choose? Is there any
Yeah.
particular?
So as of now, it is still there, which is 12th science,
Okay.
and you have to have the subjects of maths and physics
As a strong subject.
as a strong subject, yes.
Okay.
Which I've been hearing is not going to be the case pretty soon. But again, like we said, this is
Really?
all
So
speculation.
commerce students can also pursue?
Yeah.
Really?
Even now, commerce can do it. So what you have, these are all the questions that even they were not aware. But we were pilots, so we knew that there is a way out.
Yeah.
So yes, a commerce guy can also do it.
Okay.
And the only thing they have to do is they have to now then give a maths and physics
Okay.
on a separate board, or maybe the board that they've given their 12th with.
Okay.
But now they have to just go back again, or a private board for that matter. Like just go there, give maths and physics, which is approved by DGCA basically, and our education ministry and everything. And yeah, you can become. There's so many even arts kids, commerce kids,
Okay.
which are even now they're in Flyby. I was just there yesterday.
Okay.
And
So in short, I think just that post 12th, a student can join.
Yeah.
What is the most asked question by parents when they come to you? Is it usually regarding the fees, the finance part?
Because they know the fees. I mean, not know the fees, they know that it's a big expense. You'll be
Exactly.
surprised with the most difficult question. I
What
mean,
is
most
it?
asked question.
What is it?
Job mil jayega na? So,
Why is there a difficulty currently going on?
I mean, yeah, of course, it's not difficulty, but the job market is like a wave. It goes up. There are times when it is like every other month or every other week you have airlines hiring people. Now with Boeing struggling to deliver the aircrafts, Airbus has massive aircraft backlog. I mean, I don't know the numbers, but I mean the companies are not struggling, but the companies are the orders are so much that it's overwhelming for them to deliver a safe aircraft. Now again, going back to that, quick.
Right.
So the aircrafts are not coming in, so the airlines can't hire. The airlines can't hire, so all the CPLs are now still on the ground. So this is an ongoing process. But see, more than job mil jayega ki nahi, I think the question should be, is my son or my daughter going to a place where it is safe? It is known to have a good safety standards. Those are the questions that I appreciate. Again, when they started, I didn't really used to counsel people, and they had their own staff for it, and they used to do that. So what we did was I never wanted to be on the front face.
Right.
You know how difficult it was for me to come here today as well. So I didn't want to be the face or be the, and I was in a way not the owner anyway. So, but eventually that they realized that me training them and then them explaining it to the kids, there were some errors made here and there.
Yeah.
And so they were like, how much ever we would want to do, continue with this. But then if you are there, just sitting there, just to correct, no, it's like this. And like that.
Yeah.
So we spoke about it. We said that, okay, I mean, whenever I have time, free time, I can come and then you can schedule a couple of.
Correct. Yeah.
And then I started liking that. I started talking to the kids, and then so now since I moved out, it's no longer happening. But when I was still here, they needed me almost every day.
Wow.
And it was a struggle at home as well. So I again balancing. So I had to give like a couple of days to them, and a couple of days home, and then.
Correct.
So yeah. So now, from starting from just counseling, yesterday was very happy to see that they've got their own simulator now.
Oh,
So
lovely.
they've started with everything. So basically, like I said, this is what I was briefed yesterday. You just have to walk in. Walk in and then leave your worries with us. And very happy to see how they're growing. They've got a bigger place now, which is good.
Beautiful.
And flying is taken care of. They've got new types for there's something called a skill test when they come back from another country. When they fly from other country, there are certain regulations that you have to. So very, very transparent, seamless, which is what I like is to see how transparent it is. Like,
Exactly. Yeah. Like the right guidance is very important.
At times I know, at times I act like a boss. They're saying that no, you don't have to, pitch something which you don't have. Like, no. Because in a way, even when I'm not attached to the name, but then my name is, I mean, I'm still there. I mean, how do I put it? Like I have convinced and I've tried to help you guys, induct that
Right.
student.
Yeah.
So don't,
Of course.
you as a entity or me as a person, let's not do. If we are not able to do anything good for them, let's not harm them.
True.
So now, after so many years, being with them, I can very sternly tell them that no, ऐसा नहीं करने का. So what we.
Correct. Of course.
At times, you
It's
tend
ethical,
tend to now, since you have a bigger place and then they want most kids and like they tend to, but then I see they always go back to the roots and then and it's what has worked, and I don't want to say them also because it's me also, but it is very happy to see whoever's there
Right.
is correctly briefed, knows everything, and basically they have this open doors policy. a student from like 5 years ago, let's say, if he still wants to walk in, even though he's flying for an airline, has some doubt in some concept, can walk in, sit in the classes, and
Oh, how cool.
yeah. So this is one of the things that we, had to explain it to them that you can't become pilots in 3 or 4 or 5 months of course that you have.
How long does it take?
Like the entire course?
Yeah.
Well,
From, joining an academy to training to getting a CPL.
I would say about anywhere between 20 to 24 months.
Okay. And how much cost does it, require?
See, the cost is very, very relative, like where you're going.
Okay.
So we've got excellent schools in India. We've got so many schools all around the world. Let's say South Africa.
So in India and
America.
abroad, if you can just give a quick bifurcation.
Again, when it comes to the financials, I don't get myself involved with them. But I know on an average, if I'm not wrong, I think India should cost you around 40 to 50 lakhs, like just the course, the CPL. Abroad would be, depending upon where you go, it can start from as less as 60 lakhs to about crore as well. Yeah. It's
Say, for example, if a student is going abroad for the training and getting a CPL, can they get a job directly abroad itself? Or how is it like?
yes and no. But what jobs are you referring to?
Of course, can they directly fly
In an airline?
in an airline
Very
over there?
difficult.
So they
Very
have to come back to India. Okay.
See, now when we started, there were nothing like it. But now there are cadet programs,
Okay.
which an airline is inducting you from a very early stage.
Okay.
Like how they walk into my office, Flydubai, exactly how they walk into an airline's office,
Okay.
get themselves evaluated, assessed, join the cadet program, and then again it will incur way more cost than what you would do normally. But then again, this question of job milega na is almost answered. This is again one of the myth I think a lot of people has it. Hey, cadet, you're confirmed. No. If you don't show your proficiency,
Yeah.
you may pay for it. But if you're not proficient enough,
Correct.
just because you've paid for it, I mean, yes, the airline would do its best to retrain you and get you up to the mark. And again, it comes difficult. It's difficult to come, but then you have to understand not everyone can be a good pilot, or not everyone can be a good CA for that matter,
Yeah, of course.
or a good chef or anything. So to understand that let's not put word fail. It's a very negative word. Okay, let's say I'm not able to perform to a certain competency or a certain proficiency level. But you're not a bad human being. People take it. I've seen kids nowadays. They take it. Oh, but no, and then they go into this share. This is not required. So you're not a bad human being just because you can't fly an aircraft. Maybe you don't have that skills. Let's put it very bluntly.
Correct.
But you may be good at doing something else.
Right.
Again, it's difficult to accept that maybe because you've spent like 1 crore or something, and now you go back home saying that, oh, dad, I couldn't do it. It is not a pleasant conversation. I know. I've had one of those conversations in front of me when the kid was talking to the dad. But do you want him alive, or do you want him responsible for
So on that note, one quick advice for the parents and one quick advice for the aspiring pilots.
Over the years, what I've seen is most of the parents are very relaxed. In what terms is they're very happy that he wants to pursue this career. They know that there's very bright future for it, so they are very happy. At times, what I see is just because of that your fatherly or motherly feeling towards your son or daughter, you tend to push beyond your limits, which I know as a father, I would do it for my daughter as well.
Right.
So I've seen people when they have a certain budget in the mind. And when it starts going above it, which can happen,
Yeah.
which is again something that they should know,
Exactly.
is when they start pushing the kids.
Okay.
But you should go for flying. And all. But again, this is them being parents. You know, us Indian parents. So they don't want to harm the kid in a way, but it's about this is not the time to push them,
Okay.
because you've gone over budget because there's something gone wrong during the training which has caused you to redo the things,
Okay.
which incurs more cost. So do you really want to push someone who's slow at catching up things? Rather give them a little bit of time and let them, like I said, some people like pilots, when I see some kids, they're born to become pilots. You know this word of born to become pilots? I never used to trust it. But when you see them, when you see them fly for the first time, and when you see them, the confidence, they're born to they're born to fly. There are people like that. Some people are very smart. They are very, very fast learners.
Okay.
Not very good pilots at start, but they are very fast learners. They can take instructions very nicely.
Yeah.
Good pilots. They become very good pilots. Then comes people who can, let's say, like can do other things better than being a pilot. Let's put it like that. But the ego and the push which is there, society ka pressure, ghar ka pressure, and all that. That's where I would say that, you know, at some point, just accept the reality.
Correct.
So don't push beyond your limits. And the kids, the other thing that I've seen is when they go for flying, they get into this competitive mode.
Acha.
Oh,
Okay.
best of the friends going from India to, let's say, XYZ, comes back not talking to each other. Why? Because they were just pushing against each other.
Oh my God.
My fondest memories of my life, if I have to say, was when I was doing my CPL. Like we were 10 brothers there. Like 10 of us, we went there together. We were like solid as ever, still today. And rather than putting the other one down, we used to bring them up. And now, again, उस time पे the competition was bad, but not as competitive as it is right now. What people now knows is, yes, and again, I'm saying they're not bad human beings, both of them.
Yeah.
But it's about, yaar, if he goes first, ye mera job le lega. But what about now? Enjoyment chhod do. But what about the safety? Don't push yourself. At that early in your aviation career, where your skills are still developing, at that stage, if you don't fly for 10 days, you may forget how to properly land again. And it is absolutely normal. So you just go back for a check again. The instructor will see, yeah, you're good. Start again. So this is, at that stage, you really want to do a competition when you're in the air? Come on. So for the kids, this is what I always tell them.
Great advice.
Yeah. So because they go for flying, and more often than not, they always either text me or call me or video call me, and they're like, I'm at the airport. And only this thing I tell them, do not compete.
True.
You come back. So I always tell them 10, 12 months, come back after 13 months. It's okay. 14 months, it's okay. But just come back. Udhar jaake, it's not always about dying, but we always obviously go to that trial, tu mar jayega and all that. But it's about you doing something which is not very legal, and now you're banned, or now you're grounded, or now you're suspended.
God. One of the most common reasons of getting suspended, since you mentioned about suspension.
One of these things.
Okay.
So you're pushing against the other guy. You want to do something, and now they will come. Especially in the US, if you're not aware about the airspaces, and you bust an airspace, it's a proper grounding error. Then there are times when there are disciplinary issues. Again, not everyone, but I've seen over the years about 1 or 2% when they go, they lose all sense of reality, and then just want to party. And for them, this is pilot life. We party.
Yeah.
Ask a pilot when was it? When did the party last? And
I
they'll
want
be
to
like,
ask you.
yeah, you do go out for a night outs and stuff like that. But then
We a lot of people have this as impression of pilots that they live a very glamorous life because
I wish.
they earn a lot, they party. How is it like actually coming from you? I want to know.
it is a very good life. Number one.
Wow.
Okay, so very comfortable. I'm not denying that fact. Yes, we go to very good places. Again, depends where you're flying, like which airline you're flying. But eventually, at this stage of my life, yeah, I fly to very good destinations. Yes, when we're there, we do go out for parties. And but you have to understand we're there for a job. So there are certain flights, certain layovers where we have a rest which is so big, then we can afford to party on the first night, stuff like that. Otherwise as well, apart from layovers, there are times when we are at home, we've got offs, yeah, we do go out. But this impression of our pilots only party, they only drive the best of the cars and then they wear the best of the clothes. I think that's very relative to a particular person or this. You may be a party goer or a party, I don't know what is it even called, but you may be a very outgoing personality, let's say like that. So either you're pilot or not doesn't make a difference. So if you are inclined towards having a good time, just going out, not necessarily drinking.
So it's like a
always.
personal choice.
It's a personal choice as well.
Correct.
Yes, as a pilot, you do have more days available to yourself to be there, and at times, and this is such a typical human behavior that when you go out and you're posting pictures and you're like, you may have struggled so much to get there, and then you post one picture from Paris and people are like, oh, look at his life. But bro, I flew like the entire night and I'm red eyed and I can't barely stand and
Yeah.
so
People
pictures.
don't see the behind the scenes.
So in no ways I'm saying it's not a very comfortable life. It is, but it's not always parties and stuff like that. The flights, it's a serious business. So
Of
and it's fun. For me, I take it as a very light-minded work environment, I would say, let's say. I don't want to make it feel as if I'm working for it. I mean, who gets to fly an aircraft and still get paid? So I always tell that to first officer.
Yeah, let's talk about the pay. What is it that a new pilot can expect?
Again, company
Currently.
specific? Yeah, company
Yeah,
specific.
but like a ballpark figure.
Ballpark would be, a start off would be, this is all pre-tax. I think starts at about 2 lakhs, 2.5 lakhs.
Per
And
month.
as you move along the ladder, the corporate ladder, we also have that. And I think as a first officer, on an average, as a senior guy flying for like 4-5 years, I think you can draw about 4.5 lakhs. Again, I'm off the Indian market from a long time, but this is an average what you can expect. Some changes for wide body, narrow body, but more or less about 4 lakhs something is what as a first officer. And then eventually when you're reaching there, you are already approaching your command also, which is you becoming a captain now. Then it starts in the higher 6, 7, 8, maybe 10. Then you become trainers. So
Okay. How did COVID affect the market and the pilots? Were they paid enough? Were they not paid? What was it like?
COVID was bad. The basic social distancing. How are you going to distance yourself from the guy sitting next to you? So every company adopted their own procedure. DGCA came out with their own procedures. They were not allowed to have more than, I think, 2 or 3 persons in one row or something like that. And the initial months were crazy. Like we would, again, for an airline, it was like a survival mode. So we got the approval for cargo on seat and all those things. So we flew those things. Then there were Indians stuck overseas. So our company got the contract of those repatriation flights. So we did those flights with the PPE mask and everything,
Oh
you know,
my
because
God. Yeah, of course.
again, this was
Safety
like
standards.
safety standards.
Yeah,
No one
yeah,
knows
yeah.
what's happening, and
Absolutely.
then isolate yourself for a week. Now I'm so happy that I forgot all those things. But yeah, but so we did those things. Uh, Going back to your question of were we paid? So government very thoughtfully and very rightly came out with a certain restrictions for everyone. I think I'm sure
Okay.
there were some other companies also that you have to pay them. Like, you know, just
Yeah.
don't. So the company retained. There was a very good gesture on the part of the company that I was flying for. Retained everyone.
Wow.
Yeah, but that incurred a little more reduction in salary. But at least everyone was paid. That stayed for like probably about 8, 9 months, 10 months, and then slowly they started going back to the pre-COVID salary. But it was very slow.
Were there layoffs? Not in your company, but you may have colleagues.
Uh, let's say not layoffs, but those extended leaves. No, they were the trainees basically were on leaves. All the new first officers and the people under training were immediately, but they were on job.
Okay.
But
Still getting paid.
kind of, yeah.
Okay.
So they have job, they have the assurity that they're not laid off, but you're technically at home for a while till the time the airline really needs you. And then I think after a year it started getting normal. Then we were flying a lot of people with the mask restrictions and
Yeah,
all
yeah,
those things.
yeah.
But then we were flying full loads as well. So and when it started, then everything picked up again. So the training started and all those things. So yeah.
You mentioned about the job currently, the market in India being a little tight than usual. What would you advise, the CPL holders who are awaiting their jobs right now as to, as one advice that you would want to give them?
Keep studying.
Okay.
Simple as that. If you say that, oh, I study half an hour, no, not enough. There's someone studying 5 hours a day. Or if you're studying 5 hours a day, there's someone studying 8 hours a day. So this is what I feel it is common sense. If there are 100 people wanting those 2 or 3 slots, you can't be in the higher 70s. No, it's not going to work.
So this profession, I think, is always about studies till the end, right? You
And
have-
rightfully so. Like
Yeah.
now, once you take off, it's you and only you, like both of y'all. But so you have to be updated, current on all the procedures, and there's so many updates. Every now and then there'll be updates. So you have to retrain your brain to forget the old part. Okay, from today we do this. And but these are for the line pilots. I'm talking about the CPL, like what you asked. The CPL guys keep studying, because now, see, in a very blunt manner, if let's say I was the airline, and I wanted to hire, I would hire the one who's there. Like he's just put in those hours. He's ready with his knowledge. So I know he'll be a quick, let's say turnaround. That aayega, he will learn quickly. I'll train him. So whatever the expected time to train a pilot should be, I am sure that he's going to be within those times. I'm not going to look at people's score who are within 80s or 70s. This is
Right.
very blunt way of saying it.
Correct.
So every time I go back and I see students sitting in flyby, I feel so good. They've finished their CPL probably a year ago. They'll come, they'll sit. Like I said, there's no restriction. So they'll just walk into a class. Of course, they'll call, coordinate.
Yeah.
They've got their own procedure. But there's
Like
no
keep
restriction.
themselves updated all the time.
Oh,
Lovely.
yes. Once a student is always a student. So you just go. Keep studying.
Yeah.
Keep studying as if the interview is next week. Just train your brain. Oh, Monday ko interview hai. Just keep studying. On Monday, oh no, Thursday ko hai. Why not? If
Correct.
just give this much till the time because hota kya hai na, when the airline will come out with interviews whenever they want. And they won't come out with interviews saying that, oh, let's give them 1 month to study and then I'll ask. No. If they need a pilot 3 months from now and they've figured it out today, they'll come out with a vacancy today that, okay, next week I'm keeping my test. What will you do in 1 week?
Right.
That's when most of the people, now they're studying through the night. No. Gone. Finish.
That was a great advice.
So studying till the time you don't have job. After you have job, study the procedure. It's non-stop.
So it's like a non-stop studies and updation that you
Oh,
require
yes.
in this profession.
100%. You have to go through so many checks every year. Even today, we have to go through medical every year. We have to go through simulator checks. We have to go through line checks. So many things.
Wow.
There are certain airfields that you need a certain approval for. So if you have to fly to those airfields, you have to do checks for that airfields and so many things. So it's there. You have to just, even in aircraft sometimes, and even at this stage of my life, if I'm thinking about something, like, what was that? I don't leave it like that. I'm like, okay, take over controls, quickly go see that, okay. So if you keep doing this, then it will not just mount and it becomes a big,
Right.
If you keep doing this every time you think about something, just go back to the book, you read it, okay. Then you don't have to do like 10 ghanta, 12 ghanta studies in a day. But studying, yes, if you don't like it, look the other way.
So Smith, you mentioned that, you have to be like 100% when you're flying.
Yeah.
But has it ever been a point where you had to be 110%? You were expected to be 110% because of the situation at that point of time?
Recently, I would say, a couple of months ago, I was doing an approach in Greece where the winds were very bad, but still within the aircraft limit. So we decided to continue with the approach. And there's something, I don't know if you're aware, but there's something called as the wind shear.
Okay.
That's basically a rapid change of wind speed and direction, which basically, in layman's term, I would say that would take away not completely, but it would, let's say, reduce the aircraft's capability to keep itself flying.
Okay.
Either that, or if it's a positive one, it would just actually push you off the runway. Basically, it would not let you just land. Basically, just in any normal terms. So now, what we had was a degrading performance wind shear, which was basically getting me off the air. So it was ICRA. So that was one of the approaches, I would say, if you were asking about the difficult or one of the
Tricky one,
most trickiest approach. Yeah, that was where we had to like immediately get into a wind shear. We have something. So so how nicely this aviation industry or the aviation world is built is we learn from the mistakes. So they've made a procedure which we practice almost every 6 months in the simulator. We practice.
Okay. Yeah.
And so we had to do the maneuver basically. We go full power. We do our own maneuvers. And yeah, it was something where like 110 would have been less, I think. It was a 200%. Because again, this comes to a point where and the airline would expect you that we have trained you for so many years. You practiced this approach for so many years. You've practiced this maneuver.
Right.
This is the time to execute it properly. So yeah, again, no margin for error was done. One of the trickiest approaches, I would say.
Done successfully.
Yes.
Superb. Okay, Smith, now there's a quick rapid fire round that I would want to do with you. Okay. So, Boeing or Airbus?
Boeing any day.
Dawn departure or red eye?
Dawn.
Manual landing or auto land when both allowed?
When both allowed? Oh, manual. Any day. Unless it's like the requirement for the certification of the aircraft, then yeah, different thing. But I always hate to lose the landings, like, when we have a note saying auto land the aircraft. Like, shit.
Favorite airport to land at?
Favorite airport to land at? Oof. It sound crazy, but the one in the Greece where I had an issue.
Yeah. Beautiful?
Beautiful.
Wow.
Mykonos.
Okay, nice. Trickiest airport you've landed at?
Mykonos one, and in India, Leh. Very tricky.
Yeah. But beautiful as well.
Again, yeah.
Smooth landing or on time arrival? Big or high?
None.
None?
Safe.
Good.
You don't have to think about on time. As a pilot, I don't have to think about it. They've hired other people to take care of that.
No, but how about smooth landing?
No. A
Window?
positive firm landing. Sorry, a positive landing.
Huh.
Safe landing where I'm supposed to land. If it turns out smooth, perfect. But otherwise, yeah.
That's nice. Window or aisle when you are a passenger?
I'm a window guy. I don't know why.
Always a window guy. One snack you never eat before a flight?
I never eat before a flight.
In order to avoid any sort of sickness. Have ever felt anything like that?
No.
So there's nothing that you avoid. You
Yeah,
eat
that's what I was
well.
thinking. In fact, one thing that I always have before a flight is a coffee. So that is something that I almost get it almost every time. But if not, then maybe after takeoff or something. But yeah,
Okay, so
avoiding food maybe.
no, never done. One cockpit habit you are famous for?
That I'm famous for. Let me think. Habit.
Anything, your first officers have pointed out specifically or you yourself are probably aware of?
This is I'm told. I refuse to agree to this. They are like, your RT voice is different and your normal voice is different.
Okay.
So maybe, yeah, this is one of the things maybe. Because my best of the friends, like the guys who I'm associated with Flydubai, they sometimes have difficulty understanding that, is it Smith or is
Really?
it? Yeah. I've been told
So
that
maybe,
you
they're
don't
right.
sound like yourself on the RT. So maybe, yeah, that is one of the things, yeah.
Okay. One word to describe the feeling of being a pilot. One word.
Feeling of being a pilot, I say blessed.
Wow.
Any
Lovely.
day. Yeah.
Superb. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome. Thank you for
Smith,
having
for
me.
giving your time and such amazing insights and information.
I hope I helped.
You did, I'm sure. It's going to be a huge help for the aspiring pilots, for the students, and for sharing such amazing,
course.
stories. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you
today.
for having me.
It was
Thank
a
you so
pleasure.
Much. Likewise. Thank you.
Thank you. So that was Captain Smit Machchhar who gave us such amazing insights. I hope you learned something from this episode and it could be of a great help. So guys, like, share and subscribe. This is Zalak Mehta signing off. Thank you.